Rotus on Smooth 98.1. On Smooth 98.1. Brought to you by ARA. Local and global market opportunities safely at your fingertips.
Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Thank you very much for staying tuned here on your smoothest dial on radio. It's now 6:31 a.m. and we've entered into the Business Express Zone. My name is Mairo-Ese. Good morning, Rotus. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning to you, Ayo. Good morning to all our viewers. Great to be here on a Tuesday.
Excellent. So when Rotus says our viewers, you're wondering what he means when you're listening to him on radio. But he's referring, since he's only saying hello to his YouTube viewers. Rotus, can you please greet our listeners on radio?
Yeah, sorry about that. I know when I meant view, I meant to, including our listeners as well. Yes, obviously. Sorry about that.
Obviously, of course. Just teasing. All right. So if you're listening to us, you can send your message to our WhatsApp platform. 0809 444 0981 is the number to send your WhatsApp and message. And if you would want to watch us, you have a different experience, we encourage you to go onto our YouTube channel, search for Smooth 981 FM Lagos. You would see that we're live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and also hit the notification bell. We're going to be having a very interesting conversation this morning, Rotus, and touching on a few things, hopefully time permitting. However, we'll be starting off with our headline story, which is the Marvel movie that has been banned in Nigeria due to a theme that does not quite augur well with our laws, with the laws of the land. All right, Rotus, over to you.
Yeah, I have to be very quick because there's energy, and even the stock market activity yesterday. We had the biggest pop on our stock market thanks to telco. So I'll quickly get into the movie business here. COVID-19 has impacted theaters in Nigeria. 2020, they lost about 40 to 50% of revenues that they made in 2019 as a result of people out of fear not wanting to be in a crowded theater with somebody that's possibly infected. So in order to comply with the laws of the land and comply with social distancing, they introduced sanitizers at the entrances of their theaters. They made everybody wear masks. People cannot, unless you are going with your boo on a date, you can't really sit next to each other. So they separated seats in twos with spaces. And so by reducing the capacity of people that sit in a theater, it's like reducing the amount of people that can go into your store in a market. If your store can hold 100 people and you can only take 50 people, your revenues, be down by about 50%, right? So theaters have been struggling. And as a result of that, they've had to lean on Nollywood films in order to be able to do well. Nollywood films have had to carry the load for theaters to make up for the Hollywood blockbusters that are bringing a lot of money. For example, Ghost and the Tout, I think part 2, has made over 100 million naira at the box office. It's done very, very well. I have to check the numbers again. But movies like that, I think it's one of the biggest hits that the Nigerian theaters have had since Black Panther, right? So they've leaned a lot on them.
No, I think that's Omogeto.
Omogeto, thank you so much. Yes. It was Omogeto. Thanks for the question. Omogeto has been very, very successful. So, but even I think Ghost of the Tout is doing well. Part 2 is doing well as well.
It's doing well too.
Omogeto, Ghost and the Tout, Nollywood has been carrying the load. But as much as Nollywood has been carrying the load for the movie theaters, they still need the big Hollywood blockbusters in order to try to make up as much money as they can. And then there's something called ancillary revenue. Revenues that come from popcorn and drinks and all the things that are added on. There are theaters overseas now that are coming up with sports bars and all these extra things. 4DX theaters that are like roller coaster rides that if a movie is in water, they'll spray water on your face from the seat. So they're adding all these things. I mean, you have to spend more money, but adding all these things to try and make the theatrical experience, as attractive as possible. And they're dealing with a lot. Look at Netflix. Netflix just released The Harder They Fall, and I think Red Notice in limited release in theaters over the weekend. Netflix is now playing on the turf of theaters across the world, to where Netflix is pretty much a studio and releasing movies in theaters and simultaneously releasing movies on the Netflix platform. So I saw Red Notice because I didn't see Eternals. Eternals was suspended. I saw Red Notice in theaters. I saw The Harder They Fall at home on Netflix. So there's a lot of challenges for movie theaters in Nigeria right now, from the streaming platforms, from COVID-19. So you put all this into context, right? And you can imagine the amount of hope that they had for the Eternals movie. The Marvel movies have done well so far. This year, Black Widow came out and made some money. Shang-Chi came out and made some money. And so they were expecting the Eternals to make money as well. But apparently there's an LGBTQ scene that involves two male characters making out. And the Nigerian Video Film, Nigerian Video Film Censors Board or Nigerian Film Video Censor Board, I think NVFB, they banned the movie. They banned it on Friday because of that scene. And so, with the conversations that I've had with executives in the theaters, they were like, wow, this is a big blow, because we were hoping that this would come out and try to augment our revenues from November going into the December period. But as you said, laws, right? And even for Walt Disney, that's the parent company of Marvel, you yourself, you've been hit hard by COVID, not just here in Nigeria, around the world. So wouldn't you have thought to not include any controversial scenes in your film that would cause people in conservative territory, religious territories like in Nigeria, the Middle East, and so on and so forth? Wouldn't you have not considered not putting that scene in order to cause any issues, right? But from what I hear, Disney is being adamant that they're going to leave the scene in the film. But I hear that the theaters, the distributors are talking to them. Another thing is timing. I'm questioning how quickly or how far in advance the Nigerian Video Film Censors Board reviewed the film. And if that gave them enough time to be able to reach out to the distributors, to reach out to Disney and say, hey, look, scene, we're not happy with it. You need to take it out and edit it. Because they do that for China. In China, there are certain scenes that the Chinese don't like. China is the second, I think now the largest international territory.
Yeah.
And so the Chinese dictate what goes in and out of films when they are released there. So, that's the issue. And the thing is that it's just another blow to the movie industry, that the blockbuster that they badly needed going into the final half of the year is not, as of now, it's not released now. They will probably have to keep negotiating to see if they can take it out or see what happens. Kenya allowed it, though. I just found out that Kenya allowed the movie. Kenya's Film and Video Censors Board allowed the movie to go. What they did is they rated the movie. So they raised the age rating on the film so younger children can't see it. And I think if you have to go in with a younger child, they have to come with a guardian, which means you have to spend more money to bring that child in there. So I guess some territories, we'll have to see what happens in like areas like Saudi Arabia. I understand Saudi Arabia is spending about $64 billion to develop their movie industry. They want to turn Saudi Arabia into the Middle East hub for film, and they're going to be having some festivals and so on. So you put all this together and we'll have to see how it goes. But by and large, from a revenue standpoint, theater executives in Nigeria are not happy about the decision. They're not happy at Disney, especially for including the scene. They're also trying to see how they can do it. They're in the middle now. They're between Disney and the Nigerian Video Film Censors Board to see if they can get it, either the scene removed or the Video Censors Board to just do what Kenya did, is to allow the scene, but make the movie rated 18 or rated R or whatever before it can proceed. So that's what we're seeing in.
All right, Radio Mouse from Calgary is asking, is Nigeria the only country in Africa beside Kenya banning the Eternals movie? Actually, Rotus mentioned that Kenya has allowed the movie to show, only that they raised the age, in terms of the ratings for the movie. I think many other countries in West Africa and Africa would have banned the movie. And going back to what you said, Rotus, in terms of Disney and perhaps in negotiations with the Nigerian film industry, what's crossed my mind is that, are we a market strong enough to influence what they put out as China? Because that's something else for Disney. I mean, the only reason you'd make a movie is to make profit. One of the reasons they're in business is to make profit. So if you know that your profit is going to be hard hit by a certain section of your clients or your user base not using the movie, then you will certainly make certain modifications to the movie. So if they're not doing that, is it because we don't have a strong influence enough in terms of the people, the revenue they generate from Nigeria? Do we have figures around that?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we don't have that many theaters. Theater is very expensive. If you've been to the theater in Lekki, it's a state-of-the-art theater, but it costs a lot of money. I don't think they've made their money back since its launch, although I have to see. So, and especially with COVID happening. So I think if you add up all Nigerian theaters, revenue probably comes to maybe about $1 million. And they are, Eternals in America made $1 million on Thursday. In fact, they made $9 million in previews on Thursday. So, we're very, very small. So the thing is, this is back to infrastructure now. What does it take to maintain a movie theater? You need those screens, the giant IMAX 3D screen. You can imagine a lot for generators and power that you need to keep that screen on. Then you think about your popcorn machines, food, drink. It is incredibly expensive. So you need to have a lot of money, and you need more theaters across the country to be able to have the influence to tell to, like, China has thousands of screens. That's why there's such a big market. So no, unfortunately, we don't have enough theaters to where we can make a Disney shake in their boots. But there are more theaters planned. It's just a matter of seeing more private investors coming in and partnering with theaters here in order to build more and expand.
All right, absolutely. Thank you.
Very quickly, African Energy Week is kicking off today. It's in Cape Town. There's a lot going on with energy right now. Barack Obama spoke at COP26 yesterday in Glasgow, Scotland, about the whole climate change matter. President Buhari has already said, don't start an energy crisis by forcing fossil fuel nations to transition too quickly to where we'll lose jobs. So Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Silva, Group Managing Director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, CEO of Wando, Wale Tinubu, they're all in Cape Town for between today and Friday for a bunch of networking, talking about basically the gist is transitioning from fossil fuels to clean energy. That's what's happening in African Energy Week this week. And also yesterday, Nigeria stock markets 2.93% gain yesterday on the back of the Central Bank of Nigeria on Thursday or Friday, giving approval in principle to MTN Nigeria and Airtel Africa PSB licenses, payment service bank licenses that will allow them to collect deposits and mostly operate in the rural areas to allow, if it's a financial inclusion initiative, by giving them in principle, it's not quite yet approved yet, payment service bank licenses. So the market reacted, positively. Stock market reacted positively yesterday. MTN is at almost, I think, a 52-week high, 192, 93 naira per share. Africa, about 858 naira per share. That's like almost a 6-month high. So as I've told people in the past, since this is sponsored by ARM, and ARM has an app that allows you to trade on the stock market, talk to a financial advisor before hopping into the market. But telco stocks, those telco stocks are for the future.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Rotus. Quick rundown on that. Thanks for the information. We're out of time now, and we'll come back again tomorrow morning to continue conversations around different business topics from around the world. Big thanks to our listeners and to everyone who sent in comments. Chika Amaike on YouTube says, why are we ignoring that the censoring is discriminatory and oppressive? All right. Okay. So thank you, Chika. For those who have thoughts or further thoughts on this story, we are going to be looking at it from another angle during Grapevine 981. And Rotus has made a very strong business case for this. And then during the Grapevine, we'll be talking about the other factors that come into play when we discuss this particular headline. All right, then. Next up, it's Freshly Pressed 981 at 7:30 for detailed analysis of today's national news headline stories. And of course, we have a few more songs to get through before then. Something great to be your companion, your morning companion on your way to work or any activity you have lined up for this morning. I'm Mairo-Ese. Good morning.
Business Express on Small 98.1, brought to you by ARA.
I thank you everyone for listening. And